Jaguars open the season 1-0 as we defeat our division rivals, Indianapolis Colts, 31-21. Let's get it. Shout out to this video sponsor, BetUS. Guys, good teams win, but great teams cover. And the Jaguars not only defeat the Colts to go 1-0, but they also cover the spread. The Jaguars were favorited 5 points when I did my preview video, and I predicted the Jaguars to cover the spread. But it did shift to 4.5 points at kickoff, and the Jaguars luckily do cover that spread. So I'm currently 1-0 against the spread according to the BetUS odds. If that's something that you guys are interested in getting in on, go to the description down below. There's going to be a link there. It's going to 125% bonus your deposit. So if you deposit $100, there's going to be $225 showing up in your account. Every week, I'll be giving you my spread picks, and then every week, I'll be just telling you how I'm doing against the spread to see if I'm a guy that's kind of reliable to listen to. So huge shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Now let's get on to the rest of it. Now, the Jaguars defeated the Indianapolis Colts in a very, very ugly game. And when you look back on it, it's pretty crazy to think, wow, the Jaguars played like that, but still wound up winning by double digits. I mean, it was one of those things. And look, a bunch of things happened this game. First of all, the Jaguars ended this long losing streak that they've had in Indianapolis. They haven't won there since 2017. I believe they've dropped like 9 out of the last 10 games in Indy. So it's a tough place to play. I mean, it's I don't know what it is. I mean, it's a dome, but they go over there and they just never really play very well. The Indianapolis Colts have a pretty storied, franchise over there, and it's just a division rival, and the division games are always very tough. So it's a good way to go 1-0 in the AFC South, which is huge. Getting those division wins are major, not only just to win your division, but if it comes down to playoff seeding and we don't have a head-to-head matchup against these different teams, the next tiebreaker is division record. So that's a big one to get for the Jaguars. And also Trevor Lawrence is now 3-2 against the Indianapolis Colts, so he does have a winning record against the Colts. If the Jaguars were to go 6-0 against the AFC South, then that would mean he have winning records against the Colts, also the Titans, but we're still he would be 500 against the Texans. I think that's a huge thing. I would love for him to get over that hump and be a true winning quarterback against teams within the division. So before I get into the stats, I think the overall thing about this game was that the play calling was just really weird. And, it all kind of started this morning when it got announced that Press Taylor is actually going to be calling plays for the Jaguars this year, not Doug Peterson. And we think it's a way for, Doug Peterson and Press Taylor have a very good relationship. I think it's maybe a way to help springboard Press Taylor into getting a head coaching job somewhere. And, we looked at it and it's like, okay, like we'll kind of see how it does. But man, this game play calling was just absolutely strange. I mean, we were basically calling plays a lot of the games like we had Bortles at quarterback. It was like we were running the ball a ton. We were doing a lot of like wide receiver screens. We weren't really going downfield very much. And I'm like, look, we have Calvin Ridley. We have Evan Ingram. We have Christian Kirk, Zay Jones. We have all these weapons to go downfield. Why aren't we doing it? And I don't know if it's because of maybe the offensive line wasn't holding up very well. Maybe they really wanted to lean on the running game and they were hoping someone would break through. It was just one of these games where it's like they just weren't very balanced. Whether went out there and go run, or would go out there and go pass. There was even a situation where it was 3rd and 2 and the Jaguars ran a QB sneak and got to like 4th and half a yard, and they ran another QB sneak and didn't get it. It was just, play calling this game. It was like, it was maddening. It was just absolutely maddening. So when we get into the stats, man, Trevor Lawrence had a good game. 24 of 32 passing. That's a 75% completion percentage. 241 yards passing, 2 touchdowns versus 1 interception. The interception wasn't even on him, but he will get credit for that. Trevor Lawrence had a pretty efficient day overall. This is the debut of Calvin Ridley, and he really came on strong, especially in the first half. He finished with 8 receptions for 109 yards, 1 touchdown. Only got 1 reception for, I think it was like 7 yards or something in the second half. But the first half was just really, really strong showing by him. Now, Zay Jones had 5 receptions for 55 yards and 1 touchdown. The touchdown he had was insane in the end zone. Just a really good, throwing catch by him and Trevor Lawrence. And then only one other wide receiver had a reception, and that was, Christian Kirk. He had one reception for 9 yards. We'll see what Christian Kirk. I mean, I think with the Jaguars wide receiver group, look, the Jaguars have a lot of wide receivers. You have Calvin Ridley, you have Zay Jones, and then, you also bring in, like, you have Jamal Agnew, and then Christian Kirk, and then you bring in Evan Ingram, who's kind of a, wide receiver. There's going to be different games where they want to exploit different matchups. And this game, I think that, they liked how Ridley looked, and then, Zay Jones got some good looks too. And then Evan Ingram was a guy that put up 5 receptions for 49 yards. He had a really nice grab on the sidelines. We did a lot of good stuff on the sidelines. I don't know why the Jaguars didn't try to go after that more. But for whatever reason they didn't. But no harm, no foul. The Jaguars do get the win. And look, you learn a lot more from ugly wins than you do from blowout wins. You know what I mean? We're going to go over here. We're going to learn from what we did wrong and improve it on it, going forward. Now, the rushing game, Travis Etienne, 18 carries for 77 yards and a touchdown. Trevor Lawrence was a second leading rusher, 7 carries for 21 yards. And then Tank Bigsby, he had 7 carries for 13 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, Tank Bigsby was a little bit frustrating this game. Now, one of his drops led to an interception, and then he made the rookie mistake of not going over there and touching him down. The guy got up and ran for more yards before finally getting tackled by him. And it was like, okay, rookie mistake, catch the ball, if not touch him down, whatever. And then later on, Trevor Lawrence got strip sacked, and the whole entire time, Tank Bigsby was looking at him. The ball bounced in his hands, and he just didn't do anything with it. And then next thing you know, another, I think it was DeForest Buckner, came in, stripped the ball out of his hands, and ran for a touchdown. And I was at the point where I was so frustrated. I was like, bro, if Tank Bigsby doesn't know NFL rules, then take him out of the game. I mean, those are 2 just crucial mistakes that he made. I mean, that mistake directly led to a touchdown, obviously, and made the game very close. It gave the Colts the lead in the 4th quarter, and it was like, what the heck are we doing right here? But he did come back, and the weird thing was, the Jaguars want to do this thing where it's like, okay, we have confidence in you. You're good, bounce back. And then the very next drive, when the Jaguars get the ball back after Colts score a touchdown, they fed him the ball like 3 times and led to a 3-and-out. That was another one of those things where it's like, what are we doing? We have Trevor Lawrence. Why aren't we passing it? But that just wound up happening there. So, whatever. I mean, Tank Bigsby a little bit. I mean, he did put on a touchdown, and in the red zone, he got, Strange kind of helped carry him over for a first down before getting in the end zone. It was just like, bro, Bigsby, come on, man, have some situational awareness. You had the mulligan in the preseason where he fumbled. Now he drops, leaves an interception, doesn't touch him down, and then later on doesn't have. It's one thing if, like, the play is happening and then you turn around, the ball kind of bounces to you and you think it's incompletion. He was looking at Trevor the whole time, and the players around him didn't really know either. But then DeForest Buckner definitely knew. So I don't know, just a little bit annoying. Now, defensively, pretty good game defensively. Josh Allen was a complete animal, 8 tackles and 3 sacks, career high in sacks. Maybe not all those sacks were like true sacks, but we're going to give him the credit for it. Good game by him, and we'll call it a contract year. Trayvon Walker lined up with 1 sack. Good stuff on that end. Andre Sisco had a forced fumble. Tyson Campbell had an interception, and he actually said that he baited Anthony Richardson into throwing it. Devin Lloyd seemed to be all over the place. Gotsis had a nice batted pass. Fatu Kasi got in there for a nice pressure. Aluakin led the team in 8 tackles. So defensively, overall, pretty good game defensively. What the final score was, I think it was, let's see here, 31-21. So really the defense only let up like 14 points. So, not much more you can ask for out of the defense. It was a good game for them overall. Now Anthony Richardson, let's talk about Anthony Richardson real quick. He was 24 of 37. That's 65% completion percentage, 223 yards passing, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. He also had 10 rushes for 40 yards and 1 touchdown. And I put this on Twitter, and I'm being like circled around Indianapolis Twitter right now. This guy's an idiot. This guy's, I muted it all because I'm like, we just won. I don't need these salty Indianapolis Colts fans making excuses for this man. Now, Anthony Richardson, this game, look, I put out my tweet that I put out was this. I said, look, Anthony Richardson, this game was bad. That's what I put. And look, let me give you some context. Now, Anthony Richardson was good within what Shane Steichen wanted him to do. Look, he didn't want to expose him too much in the passing game. A lot of RPOs, a lot of short passes. There was a lot of screen plays, a lot of like slant routes. Not a whole lot going on when it comes to really exploring all the depths of the field. He was good with that. And we know Shane Steichen, he's good with quarterbacks. He was good with Jalen Hurts. He's probably going to bring him up in a similar manner. However, when the Colts were down and Anthony Richardson actually needed to scan the field, throw downfield, make good reads, throw between zones, he was awful. I mean, in that fourth quarter, quite frankly, he was terrible outside of when the Jaguars were playing prevent defense. And look, we're not expecting him to be great there yet or anything like that. But the reason why I said he was bad is because, look, if that's Patrick Mahomes, if that's like Herbert, any of these guys, there's a good chance that the Jaguars might lose this game. And I can even say this: look, if Gardner Minshew was playing that fourth quarter, there's a very good chance that Gardner Minshew leads into an or to a touchdown, and maybe the Jaguars lose that game. And me saying that about Gardner Minshew takes a lot. But Anthony Richardson, just when they needed him to throw and they needed him to be accurate, he wasn't good. And for me, when I look at quarterbacks, I don't care about the running ability. I really don't. Justin Fields looks amazing running the ball, but at some point, you have to be able to pass from the pocket. And can they do it? Right now, Justin Fields can't. He might be great on the highlight reel, making these good runs, but I am all about, I don't care how you do any RPO stuff. I want to see when you are down by 4 points in the fourth quarter, can you make the right throws downfield and win the game that way? Right now, Anthony Richardson looked awful when he was trying to do that. Not to say he's a bust, not to say that, anything like that, but I would say this game overall, he was good within Shane Steichen's scheme, but overall, especially in that fourth quarter, he was not good. So I'm going to say, look, I'll let Twitter continue to bury me, but that's just my read on it all. And you guys can let me know kind of what you think about that. Now, overall, when you look at this game overall, the offensive line needs to be better. I don't know what was happening with this O-line, man. It was just breaking all over the place. I mean, Walker Little seemed to be getting beat. Right tackle Anton Harrison seemed to be getting beat. Ben Barch, tough duty for him on the Forrest Buckner. It's hard to even give him that much grief because this is a man that, he just got healthy. He just got off the PUP list a couple weeks ago after being hurt, all through last year, from last year, and he missed a bunch of stuff, missed a bunch of training camp, just came back. So yeah, it's hard to really be too hard on him. But Brandon Sheriff wound up getting his ankle hurt. It looked like he actually came back, which is surprising. But we'll see kind of we'll keep monitoring him. Kind of sucks that he's nicked up this early, but we'll be monitoring that. So overall, offensive line needs to play better. It was kind of hurt in the passing game a lot. And look, the Colts really respected Jamal Agnew in the return game. They did not want him to return a ball. And that one time where he did seem to get the ball on a bounce, he took it upfield to about the 50-yard line, led to a Jaguars touchdown. Good stuff by him. My only complaint with Jamal Agnew is I don't know why we always try to force to give him the ball in the red zone. Just, I don't know. We're going to keep learning play calling, keep learning personnel better as we go along. But, when it comes to him, forcing him the ball in a reverse at the 15-yard line, I don't know how much more of that I need. Now, this was not a clean game at all. But this is the first game that the Jaguars played in, since the Chiefs game. You really need a 4-game sample size before you really figure out where are you good at, where are you bad at. I mean, remember last year where, the Jaguars had that awesome game, defeated the Ravens. Then the next week we get blown out by the Lions. Then the next week we blow out the Titans. It is such a week-to-week league. Next week our offensive line could play awesome, but our receivers are dropping the ball. Maybe our defensive line is getting all this pressure. It's just, you really don't know until 4 games in. But look, it's the first game back. Week 1 is weird. We saw, the Chiefs lose at home opening night. We saw the, Bengals get completely blown out. This game is a good game in a sense of not too many injuries, but we get to see that, look, we put a lot of film out there showing what we need to get better at. So I think overall that's good stuff. So overall, best thing right now is the Jaguars are 1-0, and the rest of the AFC South is 0-1. And look, the road to hosting playoff games is that Division winning that division. And look, the Jaguars have a whole entire leg up on everybody in division. We have a division win, which is awesome. You also look around, look, Chiefs, Chargers, Bengals, all 0-1. We're going to be competing with, definitely it seems like, the Chiefs and Bengals for that number 1 seed. So the fact that we have a leg up on them, awesome stuff. But yeah, the Jaguars 1-0. Look, it's Victory Sunday. It's going to be Victory Monday tomorrow. Not too much complaining on my end. We'll get more into different details later on. But the Jaguars play a sloppy game and win by 10. That says something. And look, overall, we need to learn what it's like to be a good team. We've in the past, we've had so many moral victories where we're like, oh my gosh, we played so well, but lost by 7 points. It sucks. They were such a good team. Now we're out here being a good team saying we suck today and won by 10. You know what I mean? It's quite a feeling. It's something I'm going to have to get used to. But yeah, the Jaguars beat the Colts. Great day. Enjoy your weeks, as next week we prepare for the Kansas City Chiefs for our home opener, trying to go 2-0. Thanks, guys, for watching. Drop a like for me on your way out. Go Jags.